Welcome back. We have the very first game that has just finished in a draw. We have Sam Shankland and Sebastian Bogner here with us, who agreed to show us their game. Please show us some very interesting moments.
Well, I think this was an absolutely terrible game, but so Sebastian played bishop b5 check, when of course I should just be an adult and play knight c6 and accept that we would have had the same results, but it would have been faster, but I got ambitious for absolutely no good reason. And then here, I mean, of course, if White can just develop with castle bishop e3, he's going to be slightly better, so I thought I should just try something like this, but it should be worse for sure. I don't know why I do this to myself, but...
Actually, there was some game, I think, with Swittler. It was younger Swittler. He played queen a4, something like this.
I thought about it, but queen b1...
Then bishop c5, maybe.
What's bishop?
Or queen b1, yeah.
I couldn't figure out what to do after queen b1, and I thought I'm probably just worse. Because after knight c6 there is bishop e5, and I believe that this is good for white.
Yeah.
I can also take on d4 first, and then play knight c6, and this is maybe not that terrible, but I felt like white should still be better after something like queen a3, knight e5, takes, and now say takes, and okay, I mean, white is just slightly better, and maybe even bishop b4 wins the game on the spot, actually. I don't know, I mean, I couldn't make this work, so I just went rook d8 and queen c7, and I was a bit surprised by d5, which I thought felt a bit rushed, but probably white is still better.
What else did you consider?
a4, let's say.
a4,
and the problem is I don't have a good move. I don't have a good move to make.
I thought you played knight c6 and knight a5.
Yeah, okay, I did not d5, and I don't think my knight on a5 will be very good, and I think that white should be better, but
Maybe,
this was fine, and then I guess probably I should have taken an f3 directly, because here I gave this option of knight d2, which was probably pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was calculating this line, knight d2.
I didn't really see a great way for me.
Bishop e2, queen, rook takes, queen e5.
And f4.
f4, take on c3. I was not sure what's going on
I
here.
thought
rook
this
e8.
was horrible for black. Bishop h4.
Bishop h4, yeah.
I thought I'm just much worse. Knight c4 is coming, and I don't know what I'm playing. e5 is also coming.
Knight e2 looks strong. What about c4, move 17?
Yeah,
this was possible, but
take on bishop d4 as well.
Yeah, whenever I get the bishop here, I always have some counterplay, because oftentimes if I can just let him take it and even lose a pawn if I get the c5 square.
And if I play something like g3 and...
At this moment, g3?
For example. And then king g2 and so
rook e8.
King g2, say.
Maybe
e5,
e5. I think that this has suddenly become strategically dangerous for white, which...
Take on e6, then...
now black's... No, then you take the exchange. Maybe I don't care, but this should be...
e5...
No, but I think black should be absolutely fine here.
Okay.
With c4 hanging and queen c6 coming, and I think black is absolutely fine. But bishop h4 didn't feel right to me, and I think now black should be okay.
Yeah.
It was too slow, probably.
Yeah, I thought about c4 here, but I couldn't make this work. I mean, it felt like there should be compensation, but I couldn't really make it happen. I think that white is better here. So I went for this, because if I go knight e5 and let him play c4, white should be better. And then...
Rook dc8.
Yes.
What's the reason behind this rook and not the a rook, by the way?
If rook a8, I disliked queen b4. When
this is just a small bet between us.
Yeah, because we were kind of explaining it ourselves by the means of queen a4, and then in some point attacking a7.
This variation scared me. Here, and now, like...
d6 is falling, yeah?
Well, I can play bishop b4, but this move bothers me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make this work for black, so I gave up and went with rook d8, but already at this point I thought black was completely fine. I also didn't really understand why the rook is so much better on d8 than a8.
Yeah.
Here I thought I was absolutely fine.
Why
and
not rook c3? Here?
I thought that this knight c5 and rook c7, rook c8 would be very strong. If rook c3, if he goes like rook c1 or something, maybe the other rook, but I didn't understand what I was doing because I cannot play rook c8. I wanted...
But takes and queen f4?
This I missed.
Yeah.
Rook z8. So
Rook
c8, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but...
Knight f8, maybe. Or something. Or bishop f8, maybe. Bishop f8, actually.
And after bishop takes e7, is there some magical move?
Probably not. Queen e5? I don't know. Just trying some nonsense.
Knight c5.
Or knight c5 immediately and with queen
bishop
c1.
takes c5.
Queen c1 and c8 is
queen
hanging.
a1 is
There's
not
always
even
queen
made,
f1,
yeah.
there's
Because,
But
always queen
c8 is hanging.
but yeah, I have always queen f1. I can just take the rook on the 8 instead of bishop e7.
Yes, that's true.
There's queen
Yes,
f1 always.
Oh,
So-
that's even better.
So takes, and then, okay, here, I mean...
No, this is nothing.
Clearly, if anyone is better, it's white, so...
Yeah.
I was quite happy with my position at this point, and I thought I was sort of like one tempo short of basically just being much better, but it just didn't come. Bishop takes e5, I think, is absolutely forced. If not this, white is in massive trouble. And here, after takes, and rook a c8, I think that white is just barely surviving here. But since he survives, like, he's absolutely fine. If he doesn't lose anything tactically, white's of course not worse.
Yeah.
I thought that this was okay for white. I was rather annoyed by bishop g4. Because if knight e5, d7, this was very frustrating.
And e6,
And then f4.
f4. And this is annoying, yeah.
If anyone's better here, it's white. But I mean, it should be a draw if I put my king on e8. I don't see how white will invade, but... After queen g5, I had calculated the variation in the game, which was not forced. After rook a c8, white can also play rook e1.
Yeah, rook a1. I also considered this move.
But after knight e4, I thought black was slightly better with knight d2 to follow. Still, it shouldn't be so bad. Queen a1 is also not stupid. But
Okay, I didn't see this move.
yeah, no, this was... I was trying to figure out what's going on here, and my sense was white should be doing pretty well. I couldn't figure out how to pick up this pawn so easily. I mean, I wasn't sure about this position here, queen f6, rook d1, but it felt like white was fine. I couldn't at least see how I'm taking his pawn, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be so bad. But I was quite happy with this continuation here until I thought here that I was just taking the pawn, but I have a couple options and they just don't work.
Yeah. Probably queen g7 immediately was safer.
Yeah, no, but when I played
Yeah,
queen
that's what I
f
saw, yeah. Queen g7. Yeah.
when I played queen f8, I thought I was winning. I missed
This rook
the,
d4.
No, I saw this. I missed it. The
Bishop b7.
rook
Oh,
takes d8 at the end because
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
rook takes d8 and white wins. But I had only thought about if queen a3, I play a5 and I win the pawn.
Yeah.
And if queen e5, which was what I was sort of expecting, I saw this very nice line here. And takes, and I have rook e8 at the end.
Yeah.
Black is winning. But after queen f6, all of a sudden I think I have to fight for a draw, and I don't even know if I did it correctly.
We thought about queen g7 straight away.
I thought
And
about
there is a
this as
difference
well.
that we mentioned earlier.
See queen f4, yeah?
Yeah, this is similar to the game. As you played queen f4, but
But in the game I cannot play queen f4.
no, in the game after knight b7 and queen g7,
You can play queen e7.
yeah, there is an additional option of queen e7.
But
which-
it's not
Yes.
possible, I think.
why?
I considered it, but
We tried to calculate and we didn't find the defense for black. If knight c5, bishop c6, if knight takes d6, then rook d6 and queen d8, and
Yeah.
if rook
No,
e7 takes and rook d8 later. So,
If I play queen back to f8,
what if bishop b7?
bishop b7, yeah, white wins.
Yeah.
No, maybe this was just finished. I thought during the game that white was much better after queen h4
After g5,
and then queen e4.
queen f4. Eh?
Yeah.
And I thought here white is much better, but I'm at least kicking. There was one annoying line here, that
7 after rook d6, no?
but then takes,
Knight takes,
and queen e7, and it's gone.
queen f8,
Queen g5.
and queen g5. Okay.
And this is, I mean, it's just horrible.
So
I don't know if
queen
it's...
h4 was also good, yeah.
This is what I was worried about. I don't have to resign if I play knight a5, but it looks horrible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this was bad. I also, after queen f6, I was very annoyed that this move doesn't work. I think bishop g4 is only move. But also there white is better.
And what's the variation?
Queen g7 and now queen h4. And basically, if I win this pawn, I'm going to win the game, and if I don't win the pawn, I'm going to lose the game. And I'm one tempo too slow to take the pawn. For instance, after queen f8, there is bishop c4. Oh no, here I can maybe take on d6, but...
Queen d8 exists?
Yeah, queen d8. So, right, so I have to play this one.
Yeah.
And now just any move, like whatever, because I'm not threatening to take. There is queen f6 check at the end. So...
Yeah.
And if king g7, queen g3, queen c3 check, this is just, I should just lose this position. So, but this bishop g4 was very annoying because at first I was thinking queen e5, and unless I'm missing something, knight g7, and black will win the pawn in the game. But yeah, queen f6 was accurate, and then I guess I just got lucky that white chose to make a draw here.
Yeah.
But
So,
What is happening after rook e8 and so knight b7? Is this
I thought that you would play rook d4.
rook d4? Yeah?
And here I think white is much better. Bishop c6 is coming, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it.
After rook e6?
And queen f4. And I thought that I'm in big trouble.
yeah.
No.
Can also play bishop g4, just provoke f5 and come back. No, I miscalculated this line with queen f6, and I'm very lucky to not have lost, but, you know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, but you don't seem to feel too lucky at this moment because this point of the
No, I
classical tournament does not show the same, let's call it, amount of the same results as you've demonstrated in the rapid and blitz, which were quite impressive.
Well, I got very unfortunate, and I've played badly, and this is not a good combination. It
Yeah.
tends to lead to disaster. The pairings I got for the classical, I mean, I'd have to look carefully at every possible possibility, but I think it was literally the single worst pairing. If I had drawn up my nightmare pairing as for who I got white and black against, I think this would have been literally my worst one possible. But
And 4 blacks, of course.
yes, well, that obviously is part of it, but yeah, I literally would have picked different color against every single opponent if I had the choice. Even if I had to stay with 4 blacks, I would have just swapped my colors like crazy. But
Yeah.
and then I've played badly. I made some bad decisions in round 4, or which one I lost 3, and then yesterday I was supposed to be basically winning out of the opening, and instead I was basically lost, so that's not a good sign.
Against Corey, yeah.
Yeah, I misremembered the line and couldn't figure it out over the board and goofed, so it's been a tough tournament, but it's just one event, and you know.
Well, there is another game tomorrow.
Yes,
let's
of
not
course,
forget,
and no matter
And
how...
you also have to watch out for Parham because he's extremely motivated to reach you.
Okay.
in terms of the standings. But,
In terms
yeah.
of the standings,
I
yeah.
guess it's just from his point of view, just wants to play the best that he can in the last round.
course,
and,
I don't
not look
care.
at the other
I don't
players in the
care
standings.
about the standings or Parham, I'm just trying to play
No,
good
I mean
chess.
just as a one more point to keep yourself motivated for the last round.
I don't need standings to motivate myself. Having a bad tournament does not mean I'm going to just go give up or something. I'm going to fight tomorrow like I fight every other game. It doesn't matter. That's
Yeah.
been a bad event so far.
And I have one more question as we have a queue here, and then maybe both of you can answer it shortly. So just a small tip, even though nobody really knows the answer, how would you recommend, let's say as a general advice, to play for a win against an opponent who's well prepared? Of course, nobody knows the answer. But,
Well, just try to play good chess. There's well prepared and well prepared. If you're prepared to play a line like this one with bishop b5 check, there's really not much you can do without taking a lot of risks, which, I mean, I did, but probably wasn't the right decision. But okay, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I played the Grunfeld just because I thought that if White wants to challenge me, he'll have to take some risks, while most other openings, like, I don't know, this Lav or the Catalan or whatever else I could have chosen, White can put some pressure without really risking anything, while the Grunfeld, he has to, I don't know.
Commit some.
Your opinion?
Yeah.
I think always it's harder to play for win with black. I think this is a big difference to play for win with black or for white. I think this is what I think is the biggest issue in this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Would
I
you?
think it's much easier for white to play for a win, let's say, in my opinion. Yeah.
Would you say that it's a?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. When you get to really high levels, actually, I think it's often easier to play for a win with black, just because people take risks. Like,
Yeah.
they don't want to make draws with you, and when they do that, playing for a win with black is not a problem at all. But when people, play relatively safe lines, it's with white. It's very, very hard to make headway if they're well prepared.
Yeah. So perhaps a good approach would be just not to play for a win and just play, and if the opponent plays for a draw, then just take it and hope for the best.
This is what I should have done, but it's easier to do that if you're doing well in the tournament. Like if
sure.
I had won yesterday, for example, and I was on +2, I wouldn't have minded just playing knight c6 and making a draw. But I don't know. Of course, you should not let your decisions be tilted by it like that. But we're all human.
All right. So very interesting thoughts, and thank you for showing us through the game. And we appreciate having you here and picking your brain every day of the tournament. So
Okay.
yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you very good luck for the last round, which will take place tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Yes, Sam Shankland and Sebastian Bogner will take a short break and be back shortly.